Hello everyone. In part 1 of the video dealing with simple interest and compound interest, I told you some problems, some shortcuts in which we can find the principal amount, given amount, rate of interest and time period. Today in part 2, I am going to deal with two types of problems which are commonly asked in competitive exams. One problem deals with finding the compound interest given all three variables, and the other involves given simple interest, you have to find compound interest on the same principle. Now it is a very long problem if you apply the traditional method. Just have a look how much time we will take to solve these kind of problems without using formula. First of all, calculating compound interest. Now in traditional method, students apply this formula of finding the amount in case of compound interest, and then when they have to calculate the compound interest, they subtract the amount and the principal to get the compound interest. Now all these formula will consume a lot of time because it involves fractions and powers. So now we are getting rid of all those things. First of all, what we do is we calculate the total compound interest. For the first year, the interest is given as 6% per annum. Per annum means for 1 year, so it is for the first year. And I told you in my previous video also what you do for calculating the interest for second year. 6% plus 6% of 6. Now this is the method used to find the total interest for 2 years. This is first year and this is second year. So this becomes 6 plus 6, 12, plus 6% of 6 is 36 upon 100, 0.36. So the total interest is 12.36%. That's all. This much is enough. If you can arrive at this compound interest, total compound interest, then the things which we have to do later on becomes very easy. Now I told you one more thing. For principal we always consider as 100%, and now the principal is given here as rupees 8,000. So principal is always considered as 100%, given as 8,000, and now compound interest we have to calculate. So whatever we have to calculate, we write here. The total compound interest is 12.36%, and now we have to calculate this compound interest on rupees 8,000. Now this is the matrix which we have to arrive at, and after this just calculate the compound interest by cross multiplication. 8,000 into 12.36 and just divide by this 100%. So 100 gets cancelled and 80 multiplied by 12.36 will be the required result, and this I have already calculated for you. This will give us 988.80. So the compound interest is 988.80, and this compound interest we have calculated without the use of these two formulas which are taught at school level. So very good at competitive level, and if you do this you will save a lot of time in competitions. Let us do one more problem now. Again, now we are given simple interest as rupees 3,000. We don't know the principal amount, and we have to calculate the compound interest on the same principle. Now if you apply the traditional method, in the traditional method what will you do? The first step will be to find the principal amount by using this formula of simple interest, PRT by 100. From here you will calculate principal amount. Then in the second step you will calculate the amount. In case of compound interest you will use this formula and find the amount. Then in the third step you will find the compound interest by subtracting the principal from the amount. Now these are the steps in traditional method. Now all these steps will not be followed in competitions. If you do this in competitions, you will consume 3 minutes or 4 minutes to solve this problem. But in case of use of shortcuts, you can do this in 15 seconds or 20 seconds time. Now let us see how. See, I told you in simple interest we just multiply the rate and time to get the total interest. 15%, 5 3 is 15%. In simple interest there is no problem. Whereas in case of compound interest we have to calculate. See, it is 7% per annum for 1 year. So like I told you here, same procedure we adopt here. 7% for first year, 7% plus 7% of 7 for second year. So 14% plus 7% of 7, 49 upon 100. So total is 14.49%. Now this is very important step for calculation of overall compound interest for 2 years, for 3 years and so on. If you know this, now the steps are very simple after this. Now see, we are given the simple interest. So 15% simple interest, this was 15%, gives us a simple interest of rupees 3000. Now this is what we are already given, and now the percentage of compound interest is 14.49%, and we have to calculate the compound interest. So this is the matrix. People who have practiced this method, they arrive at this matrix orally. Just by having a look at this, they can write this matrix directly, and in the next step they get their answer of compound interest. See, like I told you here, see, we can calculate the compound interest. 3000 multiplied by 14.49 upon 15. You have to divide by this, cross multiply this and divide by this. So 15 200 times. So this is 2 multiplied by 100 means 1449. So this gives us the required result, 1449 multiplied by 2. So 2898 rupees is the required answer. See how much time we take for this and how much time we will take for utilizing the traditional methods. So these are some of the very common questions which are asked in competitive exams. Part 1 and part 2 of this simple and compound interest videos. If you practice these two parts for half an hour each, it will give you enough time in competitive exams to come out with every type of problem, and you can solve them with ease. So keep learning, keep sharing and subscribe the channel if you like it.